Now what we have here is a perfectly good dilapidated house which everybody in town knows there's something wrong with, and for some reason has been abandoned on a prime piece of property for quite some length of time. Every community has something like this in it. It is a complete and utter mystery to me why nobody goes and investigates these old, purportedly haunted, supernaturally engaged houses. Now, I've heard any number of legends about this particular house. The first legend I've heard involved that the family inside was murdered by the father, and he, of course, then killed himself. Standard story, which makes me wonder what it is and why this is such a common reoccurring theme. Common features around haunted houses, or houses that are somehow supernaturally involved, is you'll notice the trees around the area are not like normal trees. You go to a park, they have normal trees. These are not normal trees. These trees are twisted. They, for some reason, the whole thing has kind of a vibe about it. I don't know if it's translating to film, but trust me, when you're standing here, you can feel it. And it's the middle of the day right now. Right now, it's 12:48 by the atomic clock, and this place should be just fine. It shouldn't have any kind of a vibe whatsoever. But I think we should take a look and see if we can see any signs of any kind of activity or cult activity on the inside, and I'll see what I can point out. The problem with the truth is that the truth is. You can't really shift the truth, that's why it's the truth. No matter how many facts you try to throw at it, no matter your angle or perceptions, you can't really spin the truth. You can spin perception, and the perception may affect your thought process and therefore your reality view of the truth, but the truth is. You know what I mean? Like, now, there's those people who would go into these wonderful realms of metaphysics, and they'll talk about, well, how do you know this isn't a dream, and blah, 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 blah. Okay, well, we're going to scrap all that, essential, going nowhere, masturbatory metaphysical speak. I'm not really interested in any of that. What I am interested in is once we've established, food, shelter, safety, clothing, all that good stuff, Maslow's need hierarchy and all that good jazz, you have to determine what's the point? Like, where are we going with this? What's the whole purpose of life? Why am I here? What am I doing? What's going on? And to fill that void comes religion. Now, in the Western Hemisphere, probably for the greater part of everyone who's watching this, I'm going to be viewing things from sort of an ex-Christian perspective, meaning that most people who are probably watching this, I would guess, have probably been brought up within some sort of site of a Christian tradition, i.e. Christmas, all that good stuff, which is all these Christian holidays, which has been brought down. So when I'm talking about things, understand that I myself was brought up in sort of this Wiccan Christian sort of tradition, and this has led me to ask a lot of very strange questions that wouldn't otherwise be asked. And this brings us to the realm of the occult. Now, a lot of people think the occult is just the realms of Ouija boards and tarot cards and all that kind of stuff, but they're not an ends to a means. No. The reason why people have Ouija boards and tarot cards and all that stuff is because they're seeking information. They're seeking enlightenment. They're seeking the path to truth and justice and all this kind of jazz. And the odd thing is not that, people would go and consult, runes or rocks or cards or what have you. The odd thing is the amount of people who hate that. The Roman Catholic Church has persecuted any kind of mystical knowledge, anything that could be called occult, where the word occult itself means hidden, and it doesn't mean hidden from daylight, it means hidden from the Christians, because generally during the Crusades they were burning witch trials and yada yada yada. the current Pope, who's in office right now, I guess he took over as the head coach guy for all the Catholics. He's he used to be in charge of the section of the church that was in charge of the Inquisition, apparently, as I've read. Now, apparently they don't do the whole nail you to a chair and, torture you with hot coals until you confess thing, but it wasn't so long ago that just by even talking about things like even saying the term magic or witchcraft or claiming to be a witch. I mean, if you admitted yourself to be a witch, I don't think you actually went to the gallows, but I'm not too sure. I think that generally, being as the passage in the Bible was, you shouldn't tolerate the presence of a witch, they were killing those suckers like popcorn. They were just dropping. So a lot of the knowledge that was preserved in natural history and medicines and herbs and plant usage, with a lot of traditions that came from, Druidic cultures and Celtic cultures and Celtic cultures and all that kind of jazz, that was all lost due to this, huge persecution by the church. That's why Celtic crosses have a circle in the middle of them. It's got nothing to do with the Trinity or the Holy Father or anything else like that. The reason why they have the circle in the middle of the Celtic cross is because the Celts used to worship the sun. And so in order to bring Christianity to these people, they took the circle and put it on the cross and said, see, your God's the same as our God. And we're both worshiping the same God. We just have a much better way of doing it. And this is how all that became, how Christianity essentially took over most of the world. But the problem is that when you go back far enough, and you predate Christianity, there's a whole belief structure which is in effect there. And this is where we get into the realms of the occult. And the occult on the whole is largely forgotten now. There are people who are into it, but it's a very dangerous territory to be messing around in because there's lots of cults. There's lots of people who take a little bit of knowledge, use it like a dangerous thing, and then they build it into this, dangerous cult where usually you can recognize them. There are people like, I have secret information that you can't possibly have, but if you do as I say and take these courses, you too will have the secret information, and then you can teach the secret information to other slaves, members. And then that's exactly how it works. This is how a lot of these cults are set up. So before we get into the occult, you must understand that what we will be talking about was this is what the hackers were doing before computers were invented. Guys like people who've received all kinds of controversy in the past, guys like Aleister Crowley and whatnot. Most people have heard of Crowley, but they don't really know why. He's some Satanist guy. What did he do? What was he about? Now, the man was not a very nice man, okay? He was generally, if I met Aleister Crowley on the street today, we'd probably get into a fist fight. I would think because, now this is just from what I've read because I've never met the man. Again, he's dead. Israel Regardie was his secretary, a disciple for like 30 years or something like that. And he carried on a lot of traditions that he met with, but I'm getting ahead of myself. The tapestry of the history of the occult is very, very rich. And it reads kind of like a spy novel when you get into it. Because there's all these secret societies and things that claim that they have hidden